Hey, what's up everybody? Rob Marzullo here, Ram Studio Comics, and today's video, I was asked to do this a while ago. It's finally here, how to draw the Batman. So let's go and get started. This will be obviously my way of drawing Batman. There's lots of different ways to draw this character, but this is the way I'll show you. So start off with a circle, a wedge shape, and kind of get the direction of, the face, and just block out the major forms. So we'll do a circle, a wedge shape. There's our head. Eventually we'll get the little horns in there, but we'll just throw those in for placement for now. And the neck, you can generally do right around the width of the jawline for a very superhero-esque kind of neck. A little bit wider if you want to make him look like a stockier Batman. Maybe he's had a few more bat snacks. Okay, and then as far as the upper chest, you just got to figure out, okay, is he facing forward? Is he on an angle, or is the abdomen or upper body on an angle? You got to kind of figure that out. A lot of people like to start with the abdomen first. I'm kind of crazy. I go for the head first and then add the abdomen or the upper torso. I'll just to make this easy, I want to start with basic shapes just to kind of build up to the form. So I'm going to do like this weird diamond shape, upside down pyramid. And the reason being is just if you learn to break your shapes down with simple shapes like this, it just becomes a lot easier to build your character and quickly. Okay, for the shoulders, I'll just do these kind of, off oval shapes. And then for the chest can be tricky because if you do the chest lower, then your camera angle's higher basically. So or if you do the chest higher like this, then it looks like the abdomen and the rib cage is kind of protruded out more. So it depends on what type of pose you're trying to give to the character and where the camera is in relationship to that. So just keep that in mind. So there's a bit of the rib cage, and you can kind of do this cheat where you do this little upside down M. You see that right there? And then just do these little moon shapes off to the side, and you pretty much have a rib cage pretty quickly. So I'm going to bring the collarbone up more from the original sketch line and erase that back. Keep in mind that it's a lot easier to construct characters like this if you just nudge your lines around. So you move a line, erase the previous line, kind of look at it. Just be very open to moving your lines around, and you'll be able to manipulate your art a lot easier and get to something more refined. And then obviously with characters like this, it's always good to look at reference. I'm not, but I'm hoping that since I've drawn Batman, hundreds of times in my life, that I should be able to do a pretty decent Batman. Not saying it'll be the most current or whatever. There's always changes to the suit and things like that. So I'll just do the one that I remember. Okay, so here's our upper abdomen and our shoulders. Now we can kind of figure out where the arms are going to be. Now, another thing that I'm going to do is actually duplicate. I should have did a very first boxy version. I like doing this. It shows me, where I'm taking the art, if it's getting better or worse. Just a bit of a progression. So I think it's helpful to do this with your art. So try that if you like. Okay, so I guess I'll give him a standard kind of Batman pose. Now, one that you always see with Batman or a lot of characters is kind of this fist, this clenched fist out towards camera just a little bit. Now the way I recommend doing that is just drawing a box shape. I kind of do this little bit of a angled line for the way that the knuckles shift. There's that middle knuckle right here. So do this little wedge shape, another smaller wedge for the back of the hand, and so on and so forth. And just kind of, you can actually do this on, if you're working digitally like I am, Command X, Command V, copy it, and you can work a little bit easier with this type of method where you work backwards. So what I'll do is I'll do like this, little cylinder effect going backwards. So I'm trying to perceive what the arm would look like receding back in space. There's the forearm muscles that from this angle would look a bit rounded, but it's getting just the right amount where it hides behind the hand, and you get just the right amount of the sides of the details to make something like that look right. Now, I'm not going to do this hyper realistic depiction of this because I want a lot of people to be able to follow along, but that's essentially what how you figure it out. And then the benefit of doing it on a different layers, you can kind of scale it up, move it around, kind of envision your space there. And I'll say something like right about there, and then I'll start putting in the bicep. The bicep I just kind of picture as being this kind of football shape or rounded shape there. And the tricky part with things like this is how to hide or when to hide just the right amount of details. I want to get a little bit of the elbow in there, and then I got to figure out how much of the triceps do you see. The arm looks a little bit squatty and kind of forced. So what I'll do there, let me go back to the other layer, erase some of this. And let's grab that arm and see if I can move the proportions around a bit and figure out why it looks a bit off. So again, with nudging the line, I'm going to move this line back a bit. And it might even be the shape of the shoulder, that the shoulder itself would take on a different shape when the arm's raised. It obviously wouldn't be aligned to the other arm. So if this particular arm is going to be down, then this shoulder will look different in relationship. Even the chest would look slightly different if one arm's up and one arm's down. And I think the overall arm looks not only a bit forced, but a bit small. So let me see. It's probably just the proportions. But I think it is a bit small still. So let me increase that, because we got to give Batman some guns, right? He works out. Got to give him the pipes. See if I can think of any more metaphoric words for arms. Big bulging biceps. The pythons. The snakes. Alright. I'm running out anyways. Okay, let's say that's a pretty bad arm right there, but we'll fix it, don't worry. So let me go ahead and add one more layer. I'll do the other arm. This one I'll just do down, make it nice and easy. Because this isn't so much a video on how to draw anatomy, but keep in mind, you can go to my channel for lots of anatomy drawing videos. Sorry, I had to do it, folks. I had to plug my channel. Just the way it is. Forgive me. And my proportions are off. A good way to get your proportions better is to block in the entire design first. I'm not going to do a full shot here, I don't think. I'll get a little bit more than just a head and bust, but it's a good way to kind of get everything proportionalized, if that's even a word. Because you can stand back and see the whole character and get a better feel for if everything's correct. Alright, so we'll just do something like this where the one arm's down and maybe a clenched fist down here. Alright, we should probably get some of the cape in there, and I'm just going to merge this down to the other arm. I can still edit the work pretty easily, so I'm hitting Command E to merge down into the sketch. I'm going to scale this down a little bit so I can look at it from more of a distance, and we want to get some of that cape in there. So his cape, at least the one that I'm thinking of, I don't know how many variances there are. It's part of the helmet, I believe, so I'm pretty sure it is. And we'll just do like some flowing lines to show direction, have it come off to the side a bit. Start getting the legs in there. Got to have some kind of bat belt. So we'll get that in there. Just keep in mind that's just basically a couple curved lines and a circle in the middle, and then you can do the little, you know, attachments, however many. You know, sometimes I'll see Batman have pouches and other times he doesn't. I guess it just depends on the artist and what tools he carried that day. And obviously the bat symbol on the chest, which I've seen done a few different ways. I'll just go with probably the old classic style, at least I think it is. Okay, and then his face, I just want it slightly tilted off to one side, not a lot, just enough to where it's just not dead center. Adds a little bit more interest to your designs when you just stay away from doing anything perfectly center. And this arm proportion is probably a bit off, but we'll adjust that as well. And again, if you struggle with getting any of these in place, just go right back to the cylinders like this, little circles for elbows or attachments, joints or whatever. You know, and simplify the process if you find it tricky. Command Z to go back. Let's get some of those cool little things off his glove there. Okay, so now let's get in there and I'll make another copy. Let's get in there and do a little bit more detail to the mask area. So duplicate that. You know what, actually I like working in the center of the screen, so I'll move that over to here. Grab this one, move it over to here. And increase the size. Okay, so now we got a pretty much of a foundational thing going on here of our character. As far as the mask, you know, eyes are generally halfway down from there, the nose halfway down from there. And when I say halfway, I mean half from the head to the chin, half from the eyes to the chin, half from the nose to the chin. And I just kind of draw it in, and it's just a loose guideline, so go with whatever you feel comfortable with. But that'll get you in the ballpark, and then start filling in the details, kind of a bit of an angular shape for the opening of the mask. You know, give him the kind of mean eyes there. The brow, cheekbones. And what I'll do now is soft erase it and clean it up. So what I will do, we'll time lapse this just a little bit, because I know this video is probably already getting along, and I know the attention spans on YouTube are pretty quick here. So I'll go ahead and time lapse this and refine it, but that gives us our foundational rough sketch, you know, to get everything in place. Just keep in mind, a lot of these sketch lines are placeholders. So I'm just getting things in a region so that I can go back through and refine the artwork with a little more certainty. So I'll go ahead and carry this through to the next stage and see what we come up with. Okay, so now I convert the artwork to a blue line and start drawing over top again. And this time I'm, you know, just refining the artwork a little bit more, adding some shapes of shadows, and still maneuvering things around. So keep that in mind that I'm still not to the finished level of art. I know I've got some proportion issues that I've got to correct. The head's like way too big. The arm looks way too straight here, so I, you know, edit that. So I just use this overlay process to kind of keep manipulating the art. So, and you can do that as many times as necessary to get to the type of character and type of finished work you're looking for. I still didn't feel comfortable enough with it even at that refinement level, so again, convert it to blue again and start drawing over top. In this, I start feeling like, I've got enough of the base character down. I've got Batman there. He's recognizable. There's enough of the details in. I still have to adjust some things, but it's a little bit closer where I can consider taking this to more of a final rendition. You know, and that's all subjective to what you're trying to do and how detailed you want your artwork. You see, I changed the proportion of the head there. I forgot to fill in the rest of the neck, but I'll get back to that. And I keep maneuvering this hand and the wrist because it just still doesn't feel right. And I don't know that I even get that one right by the end of it. But if you notice, that's a big part of me refining the artwork, is just moving things around, changing the size of them, the angle, whatever. And I think more of that starts to fill in as you get more of the details in of your character and the shadows and the, you know, the cross hatching, whatever. It starts to kind of visually, you know, show other areas that need to be fixed. So if you just kind of look at that as you're creating your artwork, you'll in turn get better and better at, you know, nailing these characters, making them look a little bit more like the character that you're after. You know, and obviously with Batman, there's just a lot of different variations. So I kind of mix in a couple different Batman styles, I think. But, you know, it's all just whatever you're after. Like, I don't even know if there's a Batman with 2 Batman logos. It seems a little bit redundant. But it just, I don't know. I guess it felt like it made sense at the time, so I just drew it in there. But yeah, so this is how I would draw Batman, and hopefully it shows you the steps and the process. If you got any questions, be sure to drop them in the comments section below. I'll be happy to answer when I can, and more on the way real soon. So I thank you for watching. Keep drawing, keep having fun. Bye for now.